Hey everybody, it's Dak here from the Ant Boys, and welcome to our advanced Minecraft fully automatic gold farm. Before I get into how to build this gold farm, I do just want to mention I will be building this farm in creative the whole time, but I know that the majority of you guys, if not all you guys, will not be doing that because if you weren't creative, why would you need a fully automatic gold farm? I get it. I will be explaining what you'll need to do to create it in survival. It's clearly doable in survival, or honestly, I wouldn't even be giving you this guide. The only reason I'm using creative is just so that I can have the little bit of ease of like flying and not being able to die, so that I can not have to focus on those things and show you guys exactly how this gold farm works and how you can maximize how much gold you're getting per hour. Let's get right into it though. First off, you are going to need to go to the nether, so go ahead and build yourself a nether portal. If you've never built a nether portal, it's pretty simple. You just got to make this little rectangle out of obsidian, light the bad boy on fire, and you have a nether portal. So I'll meet you guys inside. Now that you've made it into the nether, the first thing we need to do is get on top of the nether. To do that, you can go ahead and jump in place to get yourself off the ground. And once you get towards the top where you start finding some I almost said nether brick. That's not what you'll be finding. You'll be finding bedrock. I should be coming up to it soon. I don't want to destroy the bedrock because I know you guys can't. Oops. So once you've gotten to your first layer of bedrock, you want to make sure that you find the roof of the nether. Now, bedrock can only reach 5 below the roof, so let me go ahead and find a decent spot. We just got to be able to count up 5. 1, 2, 3. Here, that would be the 5th one, and that actually is going to work. You see how we have this little, just a single block area. So if we were to stand on this block, our head would be in this current bedrock's position. What you can do is go ahead and grab an ender pearl. You probably should have brought one with you, and I'm hoping that at this point you haven't. You're not following me exactly because I didn't mention that before, but you need an ender pearl. I'm going to go ahead and put myself in survival to show how this works. Go ahead and throw your ender pearl in this little area. You got to make sure that this is the top level of the nether. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go ahead and throw your ender pearl. You're going to be in this position where you need to jump pretty quickly so that you can jump on top of the nether and not get killed while you're inside it. So now you made it to the top of the nether. You probably want to mark your area a little bit, because if you're going to be up here, let me go back into creative. If you're going to be up here, you can get lost really easy. There's no doubt about it. All it is just vast landscape of bedrock. But congratulations, you are now on top of the nether. Okay, there's a couple things that I'd like to mention before we get moving on. A second ago I said that you want to probably mark your area just in case you go far away. You could build some sort of structure or just a couple of blocks to let you know you're in the right area. I just want to make sure you know that you should be using slabs. It doesn't have to be a sandstone slab. It can be any half slab. Zombie pigmen, excuse me, cannot spawn on half slabs. So if you don't want zombie pigmen spawning in that area, which in a lot of cases we don't, you want to be using half slabs. Next thing you want to do is go ahead and get a chest, and whatever materials you're going to be using, you're going to want to keep them in that chest. So for me, I'm really going to be spawning a lot of my materials, but you don't want to bring anything with you. Now go ahead and choose your favorite building block. Mine is going to be smooth sandstone. You need an entire stack of it. We are going to be building straight up. So I'm going to put myself in survival, make this easier to count out. You're going to want to build an entire stack upward. And that's where we're going to start not the spawning platforms, but just where we're going to catch the gold. The reason that we want to be lifted this much higher off the top of the nether is to really get as far away from the actual nether, the rest of the areas that zombie pigmen can spawn. But the reason I don't go all the way to the top is because I like to have a few levels of spawning. You're going to see how that works in a minute. So I like to have some sort of an in-between area there, and I like to use pretty much a whole stack. This gets you about halfway between the top of the nether and the building limit. Now here comes the crazy part. This is my personal way of getting back down the first time. This may seem a little ridiculous, but I tend to try to keep my bed close by. I like to just drop right off. Usually it would kill me, though I'm in creative. And now that I'm back at the bottom and I have my pole the size that I want it, I'm going to put some ladders on it so that I can get up and down easier. That's not necessarily the most convenient way. It's just the way that I like to choose. You could have been building the ladder on your way up. The first time, it's not like there's only one way to get up into the sky. But once you have finished placing your ladders, how many more ladders do we have here? We got a handful. What I'm going to be doing at the top is creating a 10 by 10 platform. I'm going to be making it 10 by 10. You can make it whatever size you want. This is just for demonstration purposes. The bigger, the better. It takes obviously more effort to make a bigger one, but then you're going to have a bigger farm, and generally you're going to create more gold, and that's really the goal, right? Make sure you use half slabs when you create this 10 by 10 platform. This platform that you've now built is not where we're going to be spawning the pigmen or even where they're going to be dying. This is going to be how we're picking up the nuggets that they drop and obviously the rotten flesh that they're going to be dropping too. But for a fully automatic gold farm, we don't want to have to be able to pick it up ourselves. We want something else to pick it up for us. Last time I just used a lot of hoppers. This time I'm going to be showing you how to use just a single minecart to pick them up for you. First of all, I'm going to just put a rail, excuse me, a little bit of a brain fart there. I'm going to put a rail on each and every space, zigzagging back and forth. Let's see how I want to do this, like so. And I'm going to fill up this entire 10 by 10 area, though I'm not going to put any powered rails quite yet. I'm going to look at it right when I'm done to decide where I want to put my power rails. I don't get extremely technical when it comes to the powered rails. You can. There's definitely a lot of ways that you can be more efficient with your rails. But I'm just building a little 10 by 10 area, and you never really need that many powered rails anyway, unless you're building a giant gold farm. Then you can get a little more technical if you'd like, but I don't think the effort is really necessary in this case. So now that I've put a rail on every spot, I'm just going to choose a strip down the middle. I'm going to take these out and switch them out with powered rails. We're not going to have these powered rails be actually powered quite yet, but now you get the idea. If I were to put a minecart here and we're able to travel along, it could reach this entire area by itself, basically. Just to give you a visual of what's going to happen, we're then going to have a platform on top like so. This is where your items will be. And if you are to send, I would send this minecart, I would send this cart right off the edge right now, so I need to put a little area like so. I'm just going to go ahead and give a quick example. Pretend that's a gold nugget. If this minecart with a hopper in it is to travel under this spot right now, it'll pick that gold nugget up. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get it to travel that far. There we go. I did. Look at that. Picked up the sandstone slab. So the platform that we place on top of these minecarts is where the pigmen are going to be dying, but we're not ready to get to that point. First off, we need to power the rails. Go ahead and climb down your ladder again. Hopefully you didn't destroy your laddered area like I did. You're going to want to place a block to build with. Ooh, don't fall off your ladder like I just did. Alright, I'm just going to fly back up. This is why I said I would be doing it creative. I know how to do it in survival. It's just going to take me longer, and you guys are going to get annoyed with my failures. Go ahead and place yourself a little building platform down here. So a couple things are going to need to happen for us to power those rails. First of all, you're going to want to place yourself right under the blocks that those powered rails are on. I believe mine are right here. Yes. The first things first, go ahead and give yourself a little path to walk down here. You might even want to make it too wide because eventually it might close up a little bit once you start building. One of the big things if you're doing this in survival is to make yourself a lot of building paths around the area. And just make sure you're making them out of half slabs so you don't get extra zombie spawns. Once you've done this, you can go ahead and place a half slab right under the block with the powered rail on it. That way if we put a redstone torch under that half slab, excuse me, these need to be 2 high, not 1 high. Almost messed that up. If we put a torch on this section, now it'll go ahead and power that rail for us. So this is what I mean by making it too wide, is now you wouldn't be able to walk all the way down here if anything got messed up. So you can make this too wide and go ahead and finish up placing all of your redstone torches. I'm going to do this real quick. And as simple as that, all of your powered rails are now actually powered. They would be able to push a minecart for you. Only problem is if we were to send a minecart through all of this, it would just launch off either end. So this is where not only are we going to create a system that'll turn the minecart back, but it's a little bit of a mechanism to go ahead and take all of the items out of the minecart and put them in a separate chest so that you don't have to chase down the minecart every time you want to go get your gold. And besides, it would only be able to fit 5 stacks of gold, and 2 or 3 of those stacks would probably be rotten flesh, so it's not going to work out very well. Here are the supplies you're going to need to make this really quick and simple mechanisms. Unfortunately, I have made my ladder at the same end that I need to put this little thing. Actually, no, looking at it again, forget that I said anything. I don't think it'll get in the way. First thing you want to do is go ahead and place a chest right here. This seems like a strange area, I know. Oops, it's because it's one too low. Right here. Seems like kind of a strange area, but that's because we need to place this hopper right next to it. And now, if we place a powered rail on top of that hopper, whenever the minecart were to sit on here, this hopper would suck all the items from the minecart and put it into this chest. Once you have this hopper and chest set up, now there's a small contraption that I'm not too good at explaining exactly like what its shape is to give an idea. So I just want you guys to watch me build it. If you've seen my item sorting guide, then you already know this shape. It's the same thing. But once you have this I don't know, like an arrow is kind of what I get, like it's pointing that direction. You want to place a redstone on top, and then a redstone torch right next to it. You see that turns on the powered rail. This block has another redstone, and the redstone comparator is going to face this direction, and it now can read what's going on in this hopper. Now whenever there is any items in this hopper, this redstone comparator will see that, turn on this redstone dust, and basically turn off this powered rail until the minecart is empty, and it'll turn it back on and send it on its way. Some quick things you want to do is put a couple of half slabs on top of any of these areas just to get rid of any chance of zombie pigmen to spawn. Now that you've done this little contraption, I want you to do it a second time on the other end. Once you've built your second contraption, you're basically done with the minecarts. All you need to do now is, first of all, go ahead and put your minecart on the track and go ahead and send it off. Now what you want to do is place a sandstone, or excuse me, not a sandstone slab, whatever slab you've been using on one of the railings. You'll see that it places just a little bit higher since the rails count as a block. Go ahead and fill all of this space in with half slabs. This is going to be the area that the zombie pigmen fall onto and die. Then they'll be dropping their gold nuggets, and this minecart will be picking them up for us. Pretty simple. Now to test it out quick, I'm going to go ahead and toss a bunch of gold nuggets over here, and hopefully the minecart runs by and picks them up. Yeah, now you see this time it got stopped at the chest where it is currently unloading all of the gold nuggets that it has picked up. And once it is empty, it is sent on its way. I'll go ahead and do that on the other side. I'll go ahead and throw a few around so that you can get an idea of exactly how it works. And once it hits this hopper, it stops and starts unloading. So there you go. We now have a way to pick up all of our gold. Now we just have to start getting some gold there to be picked up. To die from one fall, a zombie pigman needs to drop at least 24 blocks. So right now you want to go 24 blocks higher than your current, we'll call this the death pad. So go ahead and count 24 blocks. Once you've reached the height of 24, you're going to want to go ahead and outline this 10 by 10 pad again. This is going to be your spawning pad, so you do want to make sure you make this out of full blocks, not half slabs. We do need the pigmen to spawn on this one. And you're just outlining it for now because it's not going to be a full platform. We're going to have rows cut out of the middle of it so that the zombie pigmen can fall through. Once you've outlined your spawning platform, there are two different things you need to do. First off, I would suggest, highly suggest, actually, it is pretty necessary, go ahead and put a too-high wall around it. You don't want to put the wall on this outline like so because it's going to take up half of your spawning area. Not half, but a pretty good size of your spawning area. So go ahead and make a too-high wall around your spawning platform. Once you've built your too-high wall, you're going to want to go ahead and fill in the rest of your spawning area, but you only want to fill in every other row at the moment. So it's going to be stripes of your building blocks and then a little bit of space so that the zombie pigmen can fall through. Now this is what your spawning area should look like. Be sure to remember which section of the area your ladder is in so that you can get out when you need to. But the last little touch we need to put in here are trapdoors in the spaces. The reason we go ahead and put open trapdoors is because the zombie pigmen are far more likely to step on the trapdoors even when they're open. It looks like a block to them. When there's no block there, they're a little bit more hesitant to fall off the edge. So even though it puts a little bit of space in the area to fall, clearly they could be standing right on this little edge of trapdoor. They're far more likely to fall through to their deaths if you do place these trapdoors. So this is very helpful when it comes to efficiency. If you've made it to this point, then you have a working gold farm. Not a great working gold farm though. It would be very slow. This is only a 10 by 10 area and it's actually cut in half because they won't spawn in these trapdoor areas, I believe. Now, if you want to make this a better gold farm, there's two ways to do it. One, you can expand outward. You can make this original 10 by 10 platform 20 by 20 is actually what I would suggest. That's what I'd be willing to go for. But you can make it as big as you want. The bigger the better. The other way to expand is to build upwards. So the reason I didn't go all the way to the top originally was so now we could build another level of it. If you want to, not fall off the edge to your death. If you want to make an extra floor like this, you could turn this floor, I actually shouldn't be filling the entire thing in, now that I think about it, because we want a little bit of area for them to fall through. But basically, you can just build another floor on top of it, like so, and build a second spawning platform. If you went the 64 blocks that I originally said, you can get, like, I don't remember exactly, honestly, like 12 or 13 levels of spawning. So, and still a 10 by 10 area, not adding any supplies to the minecart area, you can get a lot of spawning platforms. So I do suggest building upward as often as possible. It's very simple to do, and once you've gotten to this point, it's actually pretty quick to expand your gold farm. That actually hits all of the main points that I need to hit, or all of the necessary points, I should say, that I need to hit for building a gold farm. Here's the version I have been building and testing. There's a handful of floors spawning pigmen, and as you can see, they all fall to their death on this spawning platform down here. And I have my minecart picking up all of the gold nuggets, placing it into 2 chests. Now, it's not optimal to have 2 different chests you want to go to, so I do have minecart tracks, taking them from the separate chests, putting them into 1 chest by itself. This still isn't the fastest gold in history. Like, this isn't crazy. You're probably getting 2 or 3 stacks of ingots an hour, which is not horrible, but it's a 20 by 20 with max levels on it, in height, I should say. So you could always expand to make it bigger. It depends on how much gold you need. If you're trying to build a gold castle, you're probably going to want a bigger one than this. But there's some more tips I'd like to give, just a couple of them, to really ramp up the spawn rates. First of all, you're going to notice when I go back down into the actual nether, I have a couple of things down here. For one, I put some half slabs on a certain amount of area, not too much. This was purely just to show you guys what I'm talking about. You can place a lot of half slabs around to make sure that zombie pigmen do not spawn in this area. You can also use lava, as you can see, to get the same effect. The reason you would want to use half slabs instead of lava is because lava could lag after a while once you've done a lot of it. And the reason you might want to use lava instead of half slabs is it's unbelievably quicker. If you would watch trying to place half slabs down, this could take a while to do this correctly. Lava, on the other hand, you only have to place a couple of buckets and it'll spread itself out. So they both have their pros and cons. It's up to you. It's not 100% necessary though. If you built it right up here, it definitely will help to get rid of the spawning areas down below. But I personally think time is better spent just building more spawning areas up top. But I guess you need a mix of both. So whichever one you're willing to put the effort in, go for it. Otherwise, if you're planning, I should say, to hang out in this area and wait for your gold farm to give you enough gold, which is generally what you're going to be doing, you do want to build yourself some sort of safe area. So I would prefer to use obsidian, or suggest use obsidian for that. I'm just using sandstone for the floor right now, just to give myself an area to work with. I'll go ahead and grab some obsidian. The reason you would want to build yourself maybe a little box, you can make it even bigger, make it really glorious and fancy looking, of course, if you want your gold farm to be a very beautiful gold farm. But as long as you give yourself at least a little box of obsidian, if any ghasts spawn up here, and you're probably going to even have this problem while you're building it, they're kind of a pain, there's no doubt about it. You're going to want bow and arrows to go ahead and kill them, unless you're pretty good at punching their flaming cannonballs back at them. But at least having an obsidian room for yourself, like so, will give you some protection from them. Then you could at least hear them coming. You're not just going to suddenly get blasted by them. Plus, if they blast you in here, you're in obsidian, so you're pretty much safe. There's no doubt about that. That really wraps up all the main points, though, everybody. I hope you got at least the idea of how to build the gold farm here. That's really all I wanted to get across, was the main workings of how I've improved my gold farm. There's clearly style differences. Maybe you're not using sandstone. Maybe there's a bunch of different things that can go on. So I'm not saying if you want the best gold farm, it has to look exactly like my gold farm does right here. But as long as you got the main numbers, the main points on how to build an optimal gold farm, then this video was a success. So it's going to wrap up my advanced gold farm tutorial, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. I know that I did. And I will see you next time.
Thanks everybody for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to click that like button and tell us what you enjoyed about it in the comments section. And if you didn't enjoy it, well then honestly I'm surprised that you got this far, and I appreciate it. If you're looking for more Minecraft videos like this one, be sure to join the cul-de-sac by subscribing for more. We'll see you next time.